The NHL power play is probably one of the most talked about pieces of the game at hockey. But do you really know what's going on with an NHL team when they're trying to set up the power play? Do you really know what it means to be 30% effective on the power play? Do you really know how you get from A to B to the puck in the back of the net? Welcome to the Worst Sports Channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports with me, Coach Ryan D. And we are going to use the NHL's best power play right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs, to help teach you all the wonderful Hot Garbage Sports fans and followers how to function on the power play. And what better time to do it than tonight when the Toronto Maple Leafs ended up potting 3 in on their power play, boosting their already NHL leading percentage. And it's a deadly unit. So Leafs fans, NHL fans, and people who want to know how to watch hockey better, thumbs up to Coach Ryan D, subscribe, notification bells on. We just passed 4,000. Thank you for being here. We couldn't do it without all of you. And this channel teaches you things about hockey that other channels just aren't. So without further ado, let's get at the power play, shall we? An NHL power play has 4 key areas that you need to focus on. The first is the personnel. Who's on the power play and why? Second is the setup. What strategy are you using on the power play and what positions are you going to assign to your power play? Number 3 is the strategy. What strategies within your power play base setup and the people you have picked are you going to deploy to score goals? Remember, the power play is a coach's area. This is hyper practice. Special team coaches and head coaches get paid a lot of money to walk through this with players because it is one of the most important aspects to winning a hockey game. If you can win on special teams, you have a great chance to win the game. And a power play presents you the best opportunity to score those much needed goals. And the number 4 thing is execution. So that's personnel, setup, strategy, and execution. Let's start with the boring stuff. And at the back half of the video, if you stay tuned till the end, I am going to walk you through the Leafs' dynamic power play in real time. And you're going to see just why Toronto is the most deadly team in the NHL today. So the personnel. There's one key area to picking personnel for your power play, and that is skill above all. You need the most skilled players on the power play. Hard stop. What does skill mean? Those are your 5 basic attributes: skating, puck handling, shooting, checking, IQ. Some of those are more important than others on the power play. A lot of you might be thinking IQ above all. That's a fallacy we like to tell ourselves because, we all can't be big and strong and do things like NHL players can, but we all have the same brain. But unfortunately, that's not the case. The number 1 skill set you need to look at on the power play is puck handling. I always talk about it being skating, but it's puck handling. You have to have really good hands. And when we're talking puck handling, it's not just good hands, but it's good hands with speed. Can you skate fast with your head up with a puck? Fun fact for all of you guys, there are very few players, even in the NHL, whose speed does not decrease when they pick up a puck. I know this seems like, oh, duh, it's not going to increase when you get a puck. Thanks for telling us, coach. But it is so rare to find a player that is net neutral, and it happens. And frankly, there's 2 of them. One is Connor McDavid. The other one is Toronto Maple Leafs superstar, Auston Matthews. So we're off to a good start there for the Leafs. The number 2 thing you need in your personnel skill set is shooting. Obviously, you got to shoot to be able to score. And the number 3 thing is going to be IQ. So although skating is the most important aspect of hockey, it actually comes in as number 4. You really want the best puck handler, the best shooter, and a guy who's got somewhat of an intelligent hockey brain. Next is the setup. The setup is universal in the NHL. There's really 3. They call it the 1-3-1, the umbrella, or the download overload. We're only going to focus on one because one really only matters in 2022, and that is the 1-3-1. So what's the 1-3-1? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's right here. Hockey coaches and strategists aren't that creative. 1 player at the top, 3 players down the middle, and 1 player at the bottom. 1-3-1. There's also 5 positions you need to take into account in the 1-3-1. The number 1 position you need to take care of here is your quarterback. That's your player up here at the top. Morgan Rielly, he's a left-handed shot. Take note of that. It'll matter later. You need to have a player here playing quarterback who has some of the best puck handling skills and IQ in the league. Having a great shot is a bonus, but it is not a prerequisite for this. This is why you see a guy like Sandin moving in here from time to time for the Leafs. A booming shot seems tantalizing up here at the top, but it's the least most important thing between puck handling, skating, and IQ. There is a lot of ground to cover, As you can see across the entire blue line here, you gotta be hyper skilled. You are leading the quarterback from the top. This is your most important player. Your next two positions are your shooters, and you have two of those occupied by Mitch Marner and Auston Matthews. Auston Matthews is arguably the most important power play player in the league next to Connor McDavid. He's got one of the best shots in the league, right up there with Alexander Ovechkin. So there are some coaches that will tell you the shooter is the most important position, but shooter can't shoot if quarterback doesn't get him the puck. See what I'm saying? Now, Auston Matthews is absolutely deadly. He is the number one look here on the power play. This is where you want the puck going, but not too often. If the puck goes to Matthews too often, then teams can key on it. They can strategize for it. You got to keep them honest by bumping it out to the left side, which is Mitch Marner. And the key to the shooter position is you want to be on your off wing. So Matthews is a left-handed shot. He's going to play on the right side. Mitch Marner is a right-handed shot. He's going to play on the left side. It's beauty how that works out. Now, remember I said Morgan Rielly, our quarterback up here at the top? Our quarterback's a left-handed shot, and that actually means he is going to default to wanting to move that puck over to Mr. Matthews because that is his forehand motion. So lucky for him, he's got one of the best players there on the side. And fun fact for all you Leafs fans here, you want to know why the power play was terrible last year? Because it was Matthews. Get the puck to Matthews. As soon as Willie Nylander and Mitch Marner, Mitch Marner's finally scoring. He went like 100 years without a power play point, but hey, he's back now. But as soon as Willie Nylander took that shooter spot, now it's being occupied by Mitch Marner. They switch up from time to time, and the puck started going over there. Puck started going in for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You have 5 dynamic players on this power play. You can shoot and score from any area on this power play, not just Auston Matthews. The last two positions on the power play are going to be your bumper or your player in the middle, occupied by Willie Nylander here. This position is quite key because not only do you need to hound pucks by being able to skate into the corner at speed to support your down low guy, because you always want to outnumber them 2-on-1. If the puck goes into the corner, closest man has to go. Sometimes 3 guys have to go, so you could end up seeing 1, 2, 3 guys all going into the same corner at once. So you need a puck hound in this position, but you also need someone who has beautiful hands because he needs to be able to bump it right back out to his shooters, or better yet, take a shot himself and be able to score. And your final piece of the puzzle here is John Tavares down low. That's your puck hound. Now, normally on power plays here, a lot of teams want to put a big guy in front of the net for the screen. I personally always like skill, and I like guys who have amazing hands. John Tavares is the number 1 player in the NHL at wall battles. You don't believe me? You soon will after the end of this video. When that puck is loose anywhere along this wall, up to the half wall, or on the other side, John Tavares is going to come out of that spot with the puck. 8 times out of 10, he's one of the best on the wall with that. So he's strong. Yes, he's not the biggest. He has high skill. He can move all around the power play, and he can hound the puck. Now, the key to your personnel here is the more interchangeable your personnel are with positions, meaning if Auston Matthews can play the bumper as well as the shooter, he becomes even better and your power play becomes deadlier. If John Tavares can play shooter and not just down below, Morgan Rielly can switch with Willie Nylander in the middle. The more these players can switch positions with each other while staying on their opposite hand on the outside, the better your power play is going to be because you can cause chaos for the other team. And when you have 5 talented players like the Leafs do here, there's no wonder they're the best in the league. Okay, now let's talk about the strategy. You have 3 priorities that you're looking for on the power play. The first priority is crossing the Royal Road. We'll go ahead and pull it up here. Anytime you make a pass across the center of the ice like this, whether it's angled or straight, you are increasing your shooting percentage to 30%, 5-on-5. That goes up on power plays. This is one of the deadliest ways to score goals in hockey. It's priority 1 on the power play. That's why you want to get the puck to the shooters from your top man. You want to make sure he's crossing the middle of the ice. The further you cross, the better the chance of scoring. Number 2 is you want to load a high angle. This is also a 30% chance. Go figure. This is very hard for a goaltender to track where the angle is being changed from down low to up top. You have a great chance of scoring. That is why you're down low guy. I prefer skill over size because they need to be able to make those crisp passes. When a puck is doing this and it's saucing, that's too hard to shoot from and let one-timers go. You need a guy that can pass flat on the ice or beauty sauce. Your priority number 3 is the screen and the double screen. That's the shot from the top of the power play from the quarterback, making sure that there's 2 players in front for screen. Look, this isn't the highest percentage chance to score. Sometimes you want to take it, but you definitely definitely want to focus on passing the Royal Road or those down low to up high angle changes the most you can. Now, before we get to gameplay video, we have 4 strategies you want to use. Those were priorities within the strategies. That's what you're trying to do. But here's the actual name of the strategies. Strategy 1 is simple. Shooters shoot, baby. Get that puck to the shooters. Let them blast those one-timers. They're going to pick corners and score goals. That's the easiest way to score in a power play. Look, even though you know it's coming, you just can't stop it most of the time. The number 2 strategy is the double stack. You get the puck to the top where the quarterback is. You shoot down low through a double screen. You go ahead. You get a goal from there. The third strategy is called a down low to overload. You move the puck down low to your John Tavares down low. You send 3 guys down there with him. You overload one side with 4 players on one half of the ice, and you make a whole bunch of crisscross applesauce passes, and you find goals from down low below the goal line coming back up into the slot or the shooter position. So there you go. That's how you score in a power play. So let's get after it and see it in real action. Why don't we? All right. So number 1, we're going to start with a down low to overload into the very simple shooter shoot, baby. That's how you end up getting goals here. So it starts down low with John Tavares. He's going to end up moving it from south to north. We talked about that angle change already, so that's already going to make it difficult. We're going to see it bumped out here to Slick Willie in the slot for a great shot. Gibson makes an awesome save, but they're able to set back up into their 1-3-1 position and score from here. Mitch Marner bangs it home. Right away, we see that absolutely beautiful down low overload, a big save by Gibson. That puck ends up kicking out. And now what we end up seeing is Morgan Rielly walking the line. And right away, you are going to start to see them move right into their 1-3-1. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 3, and then 1 is going to pump down here. They always find their way back to a 1-3-1. Don't forget, we have our Royal Road here in the middle of the ice. We're going to see it cross over. Morgan Rielly pump fakes it. Beautiful shot. Just beautiful shot by Mitch Marner there. Shooter shoot. Yeah, 2 strategies in 1 there on a 1-3-1. That's how you play the power play. Goal number 2, we're going to see all 3 strategies enacted, and it's strategy number 3, the download overload, that ends up getting a goal. Let's see if we can count them as we progress through. Morgan Rielly walking the top, crosses the Royal Road, moves it down to Mitch Marner. Shooter shoot, baby. Nope, no shot there. Back up to Rielly, over to Matthews. Shooter shot again. Down low overload, playing with it behind the wall. One of the absolute best to do it in the game, John Tavares. I told you this guy doesn't lose puck battles. Down low on the wall, bumps it out to Slick Willie in the middle in the bumper spot. He ends up scoring. What a beautiful demonstration of 3 strategies in 1 to get a goal by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boy, are they deadly. Now, what's ironic is this is in chronological order of the game. It's following my presentation perfectly. We had a basic shooter shot for a goal. Then we have a very complex system movement of players to score a goal. And you might be thinking, how can it get more complex than this? It can. That's when players start switching positions. That's when your quarterback or your defenseman is playing down low. That's when your shooter is playing defense. That's when your down low guys in the middle. Everybody is all over the place, yet they're still holding a perfect 1-3-1 in unison, in lockstep, and they are following the coach's strategy and tactics to a T and still scoring. And Toronto does that on this third example. Let's check it out. So what we see here is Willie Nylander on the back wall in the shooter position with the puck. We got Mitch Marner just off our center screen. He's playing defense. We got Morgan Rielly, our defenseman, playing the bumper position held by Rielly. We got Tavares down low normally where he is, and Matthews outside in the shooter position. We go forward as Willie Nylander holds the puck, and you'll see right away a beautiful switch from Matthews to Marner. And look, Matthews is leaving the zone. This is incredible. You'd be like, why is this guy leaving the zone? I call him the great white shark for a reason. You just don't see him coming. He looks slow. He looks lethargic. And then when he wants to strike, oh, baby, does he. Willie Nylander ends up carrying the puck to the top, leaving it for Auston Matthews, who moves it down low to a beautiful down low to bumper pass in order to score. And Morgan Rielly is on the back door in the shooter position. So granted, a 5-on-3 is a little bit different tactically than a 5-on-4. You end up playing what's called a box +1 here. That means you have 4 players on the outside in the shape of a box, and you have your +1 right here in the middle of the ice. But it is incredible to see how these guys switch positions. And remember, I told you, Great white shark, Auston Matthews, he left the zone to come back in. There is reasons for that. It looks like he's going for a change. Guys lose him for half a second, and that loss for half a second allows Willie Nylander to move the puck over to him, and then we see that beautiful bump down and bump out for a goal. That is how you do it with a perfect 5-on-3. So hopefully that gives you some context as to what you're seeing and the complexity you're seeing when you watch a power play. It's not just as simple as the fan sitting next to you yelling, shoot the puck. That's not that simple. You're looking for the shot. 5-on-3, you may only be looking for one shot. Less shots on a 5-on-3 is better. On a 5-on-4, you are looking for shots from the shooter position first. You're looking across the railroad, you're looking to go from down low to high, and you're running a 1-3-1. These are all terms you can use with your friends when you're talking hockey next. Hopefully, we've helped you watch hockey just a little bit better today.